You used to say this all the time, and it has worn off on me. And you would always say, think the best. And it was just in general, think the best about people or think the best about each other. And I'd be like, man, growing up in the city of Detroit, I'd be like, man, it's go time. I wasn't thinking the best. I was like, I play real good defense. And so like over the years, I've stepped back from that, and I'm like, you know what, maybe that's not what they meant or how they meant it. And I started to think the best.
Welcome. This is For Better and Worth,
the podcast where we don't believe you have to sacrifice your relationship while you grow and build your net worth.
We are your hosts.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Ericka Young, and we're so glad you're joining us today.
All right, y'all, let's get into it.
The For Better and Worth podcast is sponsored by American Heritage Credit Union, a not-for-profit credit union that helps you take control of your financial future.
As a member of American Heritage, you're an owner. You'll be charged fewer fees, earn more in the form of dividends on your accounts, and have access to lower rates on loans.
Whether your goal is to save for a down payment on a home, create an emergency fund, or build for the retirement you've always dreamed of, American Heritage has the products, resources, and solutions you need.
After all, American Heritage is for the people, not for profit. So to learn more, go to ahcu.co/for better and worth.
Hey, honey, how are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm good. What's on your mind today?
Sometimes we just need to take a break.
From
Take
what?
a beat, because I don't say this I say this jokingly, but sometimes I just need some alone time. Some me time.
Am I too much?
It's not that. I just need to decompress sometimes, so I don't go off the handle.
I want to know what I have done that will cause you to go off the handle, or that you avoid going off the handle for. What is it?
Well,
what's the trigger?
I think like with most men are good at suppressing their emotions and just pushing it down and not really talking about it, because they okay, yep. They just shut down and they stop talking. I think that's any man that's out there listening, brothers, he'd be like, yep. Because they don't want to get into it, women will argue and all this, and brothers like, you know what, I'm good. Because I don't want to deal with all of that. I'd rather just not say anything and walk away. But I don't think that's the effective way to deal with, disagreements. We won't really argue. Mm-hmm. We say we have dust-ups sometimes.
And the reason we can say that we don't argue is because we typically, one, the biggest thing is we are not raising our voice. Mm-hmm. We do disagree, but we are not raising our voice. We are not getting disrespectful. We don't call each other out of our name.
We have respect for each other.
And I honestly would rather you walk away than any of those things start to happen.
Right, because what we've talked about it in the past, one, fighting isn't fair. Mm-hmm. You fight to win. And I wouldn't want you in a fight to be my enemy and I'm trying to win. Because if I win, then you lose. And if you lose, then I lose.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
And so the thought today is that we're going to talk about really how you navigate, arguments or disagreements in relationships. Mm-hmm. And there's a number of ways you really can do that. But having been married for so long, I think, like you said, one, we don't argue about money. We're on the same page in most ways about that. It's actually other stuff that tends to come up for us that I still don't say we argue, but it might be annoying or it might be persistent.
When we disagree, it could potentially lead to arguments, but we really try hard not to have that happen. And you said it before we even started talking here, you said it, you're like, we're both very opinionated. And and navigating two opinionated
Strong,
people.
opinionated people can definitely lead to some bumping of the heads.
Agreed. So I don't know. I think that this is something that we need to make sure that we refine
Yeah.
all the time, that we're really doing our best to navigate well, because a lot of the times we can't assume we'll never have disagreements.
So to that point, like, I'm sure people are, well, when do you all argue? Or when do you disagree? And I think, like, I joke a lot. You know, you say you play too much sometimes.
You are the definition of play too much.
Right. So, and I know sometimes I go too far. And, you know, I can be like, oh, okay, I feel the tension there. Or even, like, and then I try to work my way back. You know, like, I was just playing, I was just joking. Or I say something that's off color to you and you like, really? But I know sometimes what will get me, you know, going a bit is like we're two individuals, even though we operate and go in the same direction. Like, you came down like dressed like me today.
Don't start no stuff. See, this is what I'm talking about. I had my shirt and you came down
Right.
with the
Independent.
shirt on in a similar color.
Right.
I didn't.
Independent. This happens
listen,
all the time.
All the time. You just
Like,
try to be like me.
You said like this morning, you were like in the bed, like, we got the same color pajamas on. Like,
We did.
I was like, this is weird. It's getting weird. Because we're not trying to do this. We got separate closets. We get dressed separately.
But we have
come
the
out
same thought.
and we had the same colors on. Like, so we get along in a lot of ways. But I know there are times when we might be talking about something, and because we are alike in a lot of ways, we agree on a lot of stuff. You know, sometimes I think you will jump to the conclusion that you know what I'm gonna say, or I know what you're going to say, and you'll interrupt me. And I'll be like, let me finish what I'm saying. You're not in my head. Mm-hmm. You might know me, but you don't know me.
I know. You love to believe I don't know you.
You don't know me.
can't.
Let me say what I want to say.
Yep.
Then you can respond. Mm-hmm. And I think sometimes that's what'll get me going, is like, because I know you want to make sure that I hear you and that you're heard. And so I feel like, well, same thing applies. You know, let me finish my statement before you try and jump in and say what you want to say. And I think that could start like a lot of arguments with people.
And I'm gonna tell you, that junk is hard. Like, I'm just thinking about instances where we're talking, we're trying to get our point across, and you say something, and then I'm like, he doesn't understand. He doesn't understand what I'm saying. And so my interruption is to keep you from saying what I think is the wrong thing. Because I'm like, he don't get it. He doesn't understand. So I have to help you get it so that you can stop saying the wrong thing. Like, literally in my head, that's where I'm at.
Do you hear yourself?
I do.
You said you got to help me stop me from saying the wrong thing before I say it.
Yes. That is literally.
Girl, you about to start an argument now.
That's literally why I cut in. So let me tell you, I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just saying that's what I think.
Because I'm saying, like, no, let me say what I want to say. Then you can determine what your response is to that.
But halfway in, I already know what you're saying. So listen, when I'm talking and I'm saying something and you want to interrupt, what are you thinking?
I'm like, yep. I'm like, yep, let her finish.
That is not what you're thinking.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, I might be thinking like, she don't know what she's talking about, or that's not right, but I'm gonna let you finish.
It's the same thing.
Right, I might be thinking
it's the same thing.
I might be thinking it, except I don't tend to interrupt like that. So I'll let you get your thought out. Then I can vehemently disagree.
Okay.
But I think there are big things that come up that cause people really to, you know, have disagreements. And
or sometimes it's the small things.
yes, I'm just saying things come up, big or small.
So our small thing that becomes a big thing, you know what it is.
I do, but I'm gonna let you finish and say it.
I said, babe, you say what it is? You know?
I want you to articulate your thought fully.
I do not want to cook all the time.
Boom. That is it.
I do not want to cook all the time. And I think that because...
But you're a good cook.
So, you know what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And the problem that I have is that I also don't want to dine out all the time.
No, I don't want to do that either.
And the problem that you have is that you are a capable cook.
Yeah. Fellas, I messed up. I messed up a long time ago.
You did.
I showed her my skills.
You did.
She said, hold on, you can actually cook? Oh, no, brother, you need to cook more. I was like, I should have burnt some stuff.
See, that was your problem.
Yeah, I have burnt, brothers, if you're watching this, burn something.
You know you done messed up, right? Like, you know you done messed up. So
Burn something.
No. So now that I'm burning stuff.
Yeah, I need to intervene.
I still got to cook, though, right? I appreciate that we do barbecue, you know, when it's nicer weather.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, you know, there are times when, like, you'll...
I cook breakfast a lot and...
Sometimes.
Okay. I cook breakfast
You
sometimes.
are very capable of doing all the things. And so the thing is that what I realized, this is a thing, honestly, just in this year, what I realized, it's not that you don't want to do it. And it's also not that you don't want to eat.
Yeah.
What it is you don't think about.
Yeah, I have a single focus, like...
You don't think about all the steps that go into
Yeah.
it and then also start planning the timing. You do not think about it.
When I'm focused on, like, during the week, I'm focused on work. And that's like my main focus, and food and meals become secondary. By the time I think about it, I'm like, well, dang, man, it's late. What are we going to do? Like, I haven't thought about thawing meat out or protein, or I'm like, well, dang, it's 6:30. Like, what's going on? We can't be eating at 8 and 9 o'clock. No, we're not doing that.
So our disagreement that is persistent is typically that.
Yeah.
And we end up having to find a way to work that out so that, one, I don't feel depleted.
Yeah.
Because cooking involves grocery shopping, planning the meal.
It requires planning the meal first, then grocery shopping, then preparing it.
Exactly. All of that, cleaning up, all of that, making sure that there's leftovers so you ain't got to do it all over again the next day. Like that kind of stuff. And so in my mind, I'm always thinking about it. And in your mind, you think about it when your stomach start growling. And I'm like, it's too late. It's too late for all that. Right. So I don't...
You want to prepare, you ready to eat, now you want to cook.
And you knew when you started dating me, what was the first thing? One of the first times we went out, what happened? What happened, babe?
This girl got to eat.
Listen, I don't miss meals.
Yeah, she got to eat.
My head starts hurting. I get hangry. I get hangry. Okay? I'm not playing these games, right? These thighs didn't come from nowhere. Yeah. They need to be fed. So that's my thing. Like, so anyway, so I like food. I like to eat. I'm not missing meals. I am not about to be an intermittent faster. Not happening.
But I think we have also learned how to communicate, and I've committed to, trying to cook more frequently, even if it's like once a week, dinner in addition to like some breakfast stuff or whatever. And I think that's where the compromise comes in. That's how we manage disagreements is, you make concession, I make concession, and then it works for both of us. Mm-hmm. Because I think there's studies out that show that couples argue about 19 times a month. When I hear that, I was like, dang, they arguing every other day.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
I can't imagine being in the same house as a person where every other day there's something that we are annoyed with.
I hope that stat is off. Because if you arguing every other day, I would be exhausted.
So I'm going to be real honest here and say that typically what we do is we talk about our episodes before we actually do the episodes. And I will put together some questions or some thoughts or what have you on the episode, and then we'll have them waiting for us to record. So when I put this together was likely a moment when we had disagreed on something. And it was a month ago. And
so you don't even know. See, that's
I don't even know what prompted. I don't even know what prompted this.
It's water under the bridge now.
Right, but there's probably something else we disagreed on this week, right? Like there's, what I mean? Something probably happened this week that, know. And today, we're having a great day. Yesterday, it was fine. Even yesterday, now this is small, this is little, tiny, but those are the things that add up. We had, I was on the phone with a friend for a while, and you were in a different room. You came into the room and you said, there's a tornado coming or something, you said.
Tornado warning.
A warning, right? I'm on the phone and I'm thinking, I'm irritated, I don't know. There's a part of me that's like,
get
whatever.
off the phone.
Yeah, so you didn't say it though. And I knew you wanted something from me. And I was just looking like, I'm on the phone and I'm trying to talk to her.
Shelter, girl.
No. But you didn't say it. So then I was like, well, what do you want? Do you want us to go in the basement? And so I was irritated because one, I felt interrupted. And two,
see, brother, I'm trying to save her life.
You didn't say you were trying to save my life. I think you was about to go back upstairs because you were trying to validate, is this real? It's not even raining outside.
Right.
And so you were trying to have a conversation with me, but I was having a conversation with somebody else. And so we were kind of sort of in the...
And you hadn't gotten the alert on your phone because I
was on the phone. And so for me, it was not...
My phone is making weird sounds and sending messages. I'm like, wait a minute, this... And I came down thinking like, did you see this? Or are you hearing this?
Yeah. And so anyway, we weren't hearing each other and all of that. And it didn't lead to any big thing, but there was an irritation. And that's something small. But there are times all the time where people get irritated.
Yeah. Or I think in that particular instance, I had to say, you said, should we go in the basement? And it did it again. I was like, yes.
Yeah.
We need to go in the basement.
So then I just was like, hey, girl, I got to get off the phone.
Go. Right. And I was like, yes, I'm going in the basement. So you can stay up here if you want to and talk to your
No,
friend,
you'd have been like, come on, girl.
I'm out.
You'd have been like, come on, girl. Yeah. If I had said, well, I ain't worried about him, you would have said, come on.
Like, hang up. Let's go.
And listen, and if I go in the basement, I got to make sure my dog comes.
Right.
Okay. So at that point, I was like, I got to make sure my doggy is safe too.
Yeah. He came on down here too.
He was so excited.
And it passed. But
yeah.
But I think even in that scenario, it wasn't a big issue. You might have been irritated, but that lasted 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm. But that's the thing. If they're saying 19 times a month, people
maybe that
argue.
Counts as one.
I wonder if that's what counts because those things happen, and then it's not a big deal.
Consider that an argument.
I just say it's an irritant. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It wasn't even a big deal.
If it's like that, maybe I could see that every other day because living with somebody all the time, somebody gonna do something to annoy you.
Right.
And you either hold on to it and you keep a tally or you let it go and you move on. And I think that's how people have to start approaching the relationship. Like, what strategies are you going to have in place to utilize to mitigate those 19 times a month?
This is really interesting. I will not name names, but I did hear this from someone that they had written out all of the things that their partner did that annoyed them.
That cannot be good. That cannot end well.
No, I was tripping. I was like, why you write? First of all, why did you write this all down for someone to see?
No.
Why are we like, it also assumes that they built it up. Like it was some time versus it wasn't handled in the moment. And that's I'm like, I can't even imagine trying to unpack 12 things at once. One is enough. Like, honestly, like I don't know how you resolve that kind of detail.
My inner Bible scriptorium was trying to come out right then because I was thinking about don't take account of a suffered wrong. I don't remember what scripture that was, but I was like, don't take account of keep tally of all this stuff, because that cannot end well. Because if you had a list of suffered wrongs and I came across it and I was like, oh, well, this is how you really feel. I'd be like, okay. That would not make me be filled with love or compromise or trying to find resolution to minor annoyances.
Right.
I'd be like, really?
Right.
I would be bothered by that.
Oh, for sure. And there is also in that type of behavior, the assumption that you're doing everything right and the other person is always doing all the stuff wrong.
Right. See,
and that's not we're all flawed humans. Everybody got mistakes.
I gotta admit right now, I'm gonna say it. I would match your petty. And I would leave a list of my own right next to yours. And that's petty.
And then that's on and popping.
Right.
Right.
That's
a mess.
That's a full-fledged, okay. Shots fired.
That's a mess right there.
Right.
That's a mess right there.
That would be horrible, because all that's going to do is escalate.
Yeah.
That's all that's going to do is escalate. So if you have issues, don't write them down and put them where somebody can see them, because that's not cool.
So I think that this does bring up something I think is important for us to share, is that we're talking about stuff that honestly is resolvable, right? These are things that you can find a way to figure out. They're minor annoyances that might happen all the time, or there's something new every other day, whatever, but we're flawed humans. But I think the challenge for a lot of relationships is when it is the big stuff. And my hope is that on our podcast, we're talking about the money, which is a big thing that a lot of people can disagree on. So hopefully this has brought a resource to couples that can help them work through some of their disagreements around money. But there's other areas where folks disagree mightily. It could be on how they rear children, or decision-making in their career paths, or, how you do life, you know what I'm saying? Or how you're treated. Like there could be a lot of different places where couples disagree. And so I don't want to minimize the fact that there are real issues that people have.
And I'm glad you said that, because I don't want to bypass the fact that money is the biggest cause for conflict in relationships. And I think we have heard about different things that people have done, had secret accounts and, took out, home equity lines of credit and just all types of things that have led to much deeper issues. And so if you're facing any of those things, I think some of the ways to manage, you can deal with it, you can utilize, but I think some of those things are going to have to go and get like other help, like professional help where you can counsel, talk through it, because, I would never do any of those things without consulting you first. But I think in the moment when you're in relationship with someone, you used to say this all the time, and it has worn off on me, and you would always say, think the best. And it was just in general, think the best about people or think the best about each other. And I'd be like, man, growing up in the city of Detroit, I'd be like, man, it's go time. I wasn't thinking the best. I was like, I play real good defense. And so like over the years, I've stepped back from that, and I'm like, you know what, maybe that's not what they meant or how they meant it. And I started to think the best. And so especially in a relationship, if this is your spouse, think the best first. I'll say start there. Like think the best. They're not trying to inflict harm or damage. I know some people might be, because they're not thinking the best. But you can only control you. And so if you think the best and you enter the conversation by just pausing and reflecting, thinking about what was said or what was done, I think the first step you would take would be a better step than
Yes.
just to, cause effect.
Right. I think that's a really good point. And also, don't harp on the past. So if you've already resolved something,
Say that again.
Listen, don't harp on the past. If you've resolved something, if you came to a conclusion, if you compromised, you made a decision, or that thing is something that doesn't need to be revisited, but then it's brought up in a conversation, in a moment,
Man, you preaching good now.
to wield as a weapon, that's a problem.
Oof.
Right? So if we are going back into our coffers of, you did this to me back in 1972, or wait a minute, hold on, like 12,000 months ago, you did this thing, that is hurtful, damaging, unnecessary, and it's used to diminish the other person, and especially if forgiveness was made, if you've already reconciled from that event, right, or whatever that was, to bring it up means that healing didn't occur. That's a problem.
That's good.
So that's one thing we had to learn to do. I think it took years for us, because I don't even see us doing that anymore. I
don't even think like that.
We don't. We used to.
Yeah, like when it's over, it's over.
But we used to. And I'll be very honest. I'll be honest too about this one. We don't 100% subscribe to don't let the sun go down upon your wrath. We don't feel like we got to stay up and talk it out until 1 in the morning.
I feel like it's okay to give space and let things calm down.
I think
cooler heads prevail.
I work better that way.
Yeah.
Because, and not that we would ever cuss each other out, but what I will say is that if it is heated, if there is like something that one of us is passionate about and we can't form words that are peace and kind and loving, then I need a minute, and you might need a minute.
Yeah.
And so I think that I understand the principle of that. I get it. Like, don't let time go by and you have unresolved issues. I get that. And what I will say is we usually don't let 24 hours go by. I'll say it that way. We do not let 24 hours. We find ways to figure out what it is that we need to figure out. But going in the past, that is not where it's at.
You know what I found, like in my years of leading teams and people and just being in leadership roles, I've always sought to understand.
Yes.
Especially being a leader of people. You can't just draw conclusions all the time or just criticisms. You have to seek to understand, because you need to understand how somebody's thinking, how they got to, the end result or the process that they went through to make the decision that they made.
Yeah.
And I think in relationships, that's always a good stance to take. Seek to understand, because like we even started out talking about, we know each other, and you can think like, oh, this is what he's talking about. Mm-hmm. But until you hear it from the other person's mouth, you can't confirm exactly what they were talking about. So you have to really seek to understand and not seek to come in with criticisms from your pre-derived, notion or conclusion that you may have about what they're doing, why they're doing it, how they're doing it. And so I think when you do that, you can come into something with a cooler head. Like, look, I'm just trying to understand your point of view. I'm just trying to understand, why you felt the way you felt, because then when I understand that, I can know how to impact it in a way that's not negative. Mm-hmm. So I think that's another good thing that you can do.
Yeah, I agree. And I also think that, I think this is a big deal. And I do this with clients. I do this with the kids. Mm-hmm. I do this with you. I'm like, is now a good time? I think that question, what it communicates is, I understand that you might need more time, and I'm willing to give it. I want to make sure that we have more than 5 minutes to discuss it.
Right.
So I'm not assuming that this is going to be a short conversation, and it's courteous. right? It's just simply, I'm saying I care enough to ensure that whatever it is that you need on your mind, that there's enough time for that. And so if it's not a good time, be willing to say, okay, well, when is? And so like I said, I say that with my clients. I'm like, is now a good time to talk about this? Or is it next meeting? With the kids, I'm like, do you have enough time to discuss it? Because then the posture is disarming. It's not like coming in, full force. You know what I mean? You busted through the door, like, what's going on? Why are you acting like that? And I think.
Why you acting like that?
But you know what?
Why are you talking like that?
Most of the time, we can read each other's signals. Like, I do think that I know when you are not having a great day or there's something off or you're irritated. I can sense it in your body language. And I can see it on your face. This isn't the face, but you got a face. I know what it is.
This it right here.
That.
It's just blank.
But no, you got a little smirk to the lip, and one of your eyebrows is up. Those two things. You are tense and pent up. Something ain't right. And I'm like, babe, what's going on? What's happening? And it's typically something that just came out the side of my neck. You know what I'm saying? Typically, it was just, I said something that rubbed you wrong.
It's so funny because there are people, like, you say something or you do something and somebody in their head is like, Mortal Kombat!
Yes.
Like the old school video game.
Yes.
They're like, we about to throw down.
Is that how you think sometimes? You looking like, she said what?
Like, I don't know. I feel like the older I get, the more chill I am.
Yeah.
Like, the more I just let stuff go.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I'm at a phase in life where I don't stress so much anymore. Like, when I was younger, I used to let a whole lot of stuff bother me.
You were a hothead.
That now I'm like, man, whatever. I'm like, I'm just so chill.
Yeah.
Now that life is short.
Yeah.
I'm trying to enjoy life. I'm not trying to argue. I'm not trying to fuss and fight because I'm not trying to inflict harm on you that I can't walk back. We in it.
Yeah.
Like, we joke, if you packing, where we go? Nobody's leaving this unless they going in a hearse.
Clock.
Right?
Clank, clank.
The death is the only way out at this point.
And of natural causes.
Right.
Let's be very clear.
Right. I don't want to put on look, I ain't going to jail for nobody. If I had to kill her, I'm just leaving.
Listen, so this is...
Look, that's not the brother's MO anyway.
No, this is till death, natural death do us part.
And so I'm laughing now, and I hope people, as they listen to this, they can really adopt a lighthearted demeanor so that arguments or different things make it actually easy to navigate in a relationship, because as long as there are people involved in it, there's going to be problems. I don't care if it's the workplace, a relationship, a home, a church, a school, whatever it is, it's got people. And as long as people are involved, there's going to be issues.
Yeah.
It's all about how we as individuals choose to respond to said issues that can make those issues easy to deal with, or it can increase the complexity of those issues when we respond negatively.
Yeah, that's good. So I want to share my Make It Worth It. Are you ready?
I'm ready to hear it.
So this is a tactic that I use as a coach.
Wait, hold on. Now, you use this as a coach, but don't be using your tactics on me.
No, but listen, this is a good one. It's a good one.
Okay.
It's a good one. So open-ended questions. And so they are like, what makes this so important to you? How do you feel about this? Let's see, who, what, when, where, and how. So who, who made you feel like that? Or, you know what I mean? Who, what's at stake, right? Who, what, when did all of this start? Who, what, when, where? where are we missing the point? Where are we disagreeing? What's in the middle, right? So those are good questions, maybe. Like who, what, when, where, and then the why, I need us to put it away. Like, we don't need to ask, why did you do that? Why are you like this?
That's good.
Why did you know what I mean? So you want to talk about your own feelings. Hey, I feel upset because, or I'm frustrated because of this. And then we want to ask questions that are open-ended. Why is this important to you? When did things change? How can I help? Those are helpful, but why is accusatory. So I feel like I am cautious with my words so that I'm not, wielding daggers of why are you like this? Why did you do this? Why? Because that's not going to put you in the right posture to have a really good conversation. So I
think that's good.
I think that's what can make, and ease the conflict resolution.
I'm laughing because, you've been through a lot of coaching, training. I've been through a lot of leadership training and development. And it's funny, I think we both use tactics probably on each other that we've learned.
It works.
Over the years. But
I'm not going to, hey.
That's how we're able to just navigate. But I guess my make you worth it is real simple. Don't take yourself too seriously. Because whenever we take ourselves too seriously, I've only known it to cause like issues. At work, at home, wherever. When you take yourself too seriously, it's going to be a problem.
Yes.
Because your ears are closed off, your mind becomes cloudy and hazy, and you can't see much through the haze. And so if you don't take yourself seriously, you can remain clear-headed. You can remain open to hear the heart behind it, because that's what those questions you were posing and talking about, you're really trying to get to the heart of the issue and able to address that. Yeah. Because you may not have a problem with the person. It may just be a position that the person is taking or a thing that the person did. You, in a relationship, you love and care for the person, but it's like you don't like this thing. And if you don't take yourself too seriously, I think that will just open the door to have conversations that can be meaningful and end in a meaningful outcome.
So one of the ways that we don't take ourselves too seriously is we started doing something that is really silly to diffuse
ridiculous,
conflict. And
hi, Chris.
I'm Ericka.
Yeah, we reintroduce ourselves like we haven't known each other for 30 years.
So in that, what it does is it's ridiculous, right? Yeah. But it also means that we might have been acting out of character.
Yep.
Or we had a moment where we weren't ourselves. And if we can reintroduce ourselves, then we can say, let's start over again.
Okay, what's really going on here? So
So anyway, so that's a tactic that has been helpful. We haven't actually had to do that in a while, but it had been helpful for a long time, especially with them kids, I tell you.
Same brains. I was like, it's us v kids.
Right. Now they almost out the house and I want to cry. It's crazy.
Right.
So,
but this has been a good conversation.
Yes.
And hopefully as you listen, it's helping you navigate your relationship. So just keep tuning in, keep pressing that like and subscribe. And until next time,
we're out.
Thank you for spending some of your time with us today.
We appreciate all of your support. So be sure to subscribe, rate, and review us wherever you listen to this podcast.
You can find us on Instagram at For Better and Worth.
And sign up to receive our free guide, The 7 Reasons Your Money Relationship Isn't Working with Your Partner, on forbetterandworth.com.
Until next time, we're out of here.